Shalom, call lawyer Yahweh Shem Rashan Shalom to the elect. I was looking at the news a little earlier and I just want to touch on a few different videos and speak on how the Most High is making his words be known. Like people that doubt and be like, oh, this may be made up or the Bible's infiltrated or whatever, man. Hey, all this stuff being made manifest right now in these times we're living in. And I just got in not too long ago from the plantation, so it's a little early, but I'm about to go in on these little videos I got queued up. But there's one in particular. I see some other Akim made a video about this. I just want to add on to it a little bit. Now, when you skip through it, I ain't gonna play all of it. They clearly show a blimp, because you have people doubting this and saying, oh, it could be a blimp. Well, the new phones that people have now, because most people have iPhones, iPhone 8, 9, 10, and so on. So, if they didn't capture a picture like this of a blimp, why wouldn't this be captured as clear? And numerous people saw this stuff. Then, when games and stuff be going on, blimps be flying around, don't nobody be giving a fuck by no blimps. Well, you see something like this that you ain't never seen floating around before, that's how you be.
This is a genuine UFO captured over New Jersey, New York, and the
Oh, and then the government already came out and said they spent millions of dollars trying to capture and monitor these things, and they realized that they can't catch up with it, they can't keep up with it. And I'm going to the book of Ezekiel and I'm going to show why. Because the way Esau, these Edomites, so-called white men, the way their technology is set up is carnal. The way the Most High got these ships made is spiritual. So let me go into the book of Ezekiel and I'm going to break this down exactly what I'm talking about. And that's another reason why the Space Force was built. Ain't no other reason for them to build no Space Force. Now let me go down real quick. Let's see. Okay, just verification sake, I brought this up before, but ain't no green aliens and none of that shit in there. And the book of Ezekiel clearly tell you how they look. Now, it's in the book of Ezekiel chapter 1. I'm going to start at, let's see. Start at verse 11. It says, thus were their faces and the wings stretched upward. 2 wings of everyone were joined one to another, and 2 covered their bodies. And they went one straight forward. Whether the spirit was to go, they went. That's why Esau can't keep up with them, because these are spiritual vehicles. So ain't just no little, oh, I'm going to go shoot it down and take it back to Area 51 or whatever that shit called. That's a damn lie. Esau ain't do none of that. Now it says, they went and they turned not when they went. And that's for the likeness of the living creatures. Which the creatures are talking about, the beings that's in those ships. It says their appearance was like burning coals of fire. And the light the appearance of lamps. It went up and down among the living creatures. And the fire was bright, and out of the fire went forth lightning. Which you see certain shows, they emulate that a little bit. Let me get the burning coals again. And I brought this up before, I'm gonna bring it out again, because like I said, ain't no green aliens and none of that shit in there. Now, if something look like burning coals, I'm gonna take a fucking rocket scientist to give a description of how that would look. Oh, here go a perfect one right here. This is a newer one. I don't remember seeing this last time I searched this. Now, something look like that. Or like this as well. Burning coals. I mean, it would be dark with the light around it. So where did it get these images from? Let me go to it. Where this shit come from? This goes into iconoclasm, which I see one of the elders made a video about that. This is part of the iconoclasm stuff they did, and I'm glad through the spirit of my mom, when my people down south, how I was brought up, we ain't have all this shit around. Ain't no Edomite angels around. We had the dark skinned angels actually. So my mind was like on a different vibration and frequency anyway when I was a little bit younger. My spirit was way different than most people, so I ain't even really hang around too many people. It's just certain people that gravitated towards me. But this ain't about me. This is about what's going on right now. and all these different signs of these ships being visible. Let me see, I'm gonna keep scrolling through it. Then what's really gonna bug people out even more when they actually see the beings that's in these ships. Because this whole time, people around the earth been giving us hell and doing all this different stuff. But the whole time, we the people of the Most High, the person who created, of the supreme being that created everything. You got this advertisement on it, but some people be putting advertisement on their videos. Go back to it. I'm gonna read on some more of the book of Ezekiel. I know I'm speaking on this, but stuff like this, hey, this excite me seeing shit like this. When I was looking at this on the news, this girl, she was looking at me trying to see what I was laughing at me. I ain't even tell her because I know she wasn't really gonna grasp what I was talking about. Yeah, like if this is a blimp, people wouldn't be reacting like this. People only react to stuff that they're not familiar with. And the scriptures also say, be not dismayed, for the heathen are dismayed. Because the first time I ever had an encounter and I seen a cherry myself, I wasn't tripping out. It was like I've been seeing them my whole life. I just happened to see it. It sat in the sky for a little bit. It was like a goldish, metallic looking color with green lights on it. It sat there. A few other people was with me and they witnessed it. And then it flew off. And this is how it flew off, exactly how it's described in the book of Ezekiel. Now, I'm going to read on about the creatures and keep going down. It says, in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 1, verse 14, and the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning. So Esau, the little technology shit they got, can't keep up with that. And they wasted money trying to keep up with that. And they said it themselves. Now, verse 15, it says, now as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures. With its four faces, the appearance of the wheels in their work was like unto the color of a beryl. And they four had one likeness in their appearance. And their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel, which when you see some of them ships, that's exactly how they look. Like a flying disc or something like that. And they come in various shapes. And it says, when they went upon their four sides, and they turned not when they went. And NASA, the government, military branches, when they record this stuff and document it, they always say it's flying at a high rate of speed against physics known to man. And the reason why, because they're spiritual vehicles. Now it says, and when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up, talking about the ships, because that's how they maneuver. And this is what I wanted to get to, this main point. Verse 20 says, whatsoever the spirit was to go, they went. That there was their spirit to go, and the wheels were lifted up over against them, for the spirit of the living creature was in the wheel. So just how you have a pilot flying the plane manually, or they so-called put it on autopilot, well, the angels, they can put the ships in autopilot, but with the spirit though, they ain't got to use no technology or none of that. And can't nothing keep up with that. Not on the physical level. Now let me go back, let me go to some more videos that popped up and I queued up. I seen this earlier and this popped in my mind. As soon as I seen it, literally, I waited like an hour or two. I'm like, man, something's gonna pop off with them doing this. Hold on, let me got some videos queued up. Okay, here we go. It says Palestine enraged Israel to sign peace deals with Bahrain and UAE in the White House. And this right here, this gonna cause a lot of stuff. Like a lot of people, they still don't really know about this type of shit. Like when I talk to people, they don't really know about the stuff that's going on. My battery getting a little low too, so hold on, let me see. I'm gonna try to make this video quick so it won't die on there or whatever. I'm gonna just bring these scriptures out now.
Bahrain
Been
and
out in the
United
sun.
Arab Emirates will be at a signing ceremony with Donald Trump taking center stage. His administration is touting this as a historic breakthrough and paving the way for peace in a region plagued by conflict.
This is a truly historic day.
We hope that this will start an even more historic journey for the Middle East and beyond.
It was a historic deal and the first such deal in over 2 decades.
But do agreements like this really help solve the Israel-Palestine conflict?
No. 'Cause like this scripture right here said, let me go down. It's in the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5, verse 3 says, "For when they should say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." Now, literally right after this shit, that's like, man, you can't make these scriptures up, man. And so you have to really, for one, the Spirit got to be dealing with you, and you have to really learn and sit down and take time. Like, I came across this one scripture, I think it's in the book of, I want to say James in chapter 4 or 5, one of them, it says, draw near to him and he should come to thee. I'm going to pull that in a minute. Because when you really put in work, you got to put in some work to show the Most High. People be wanting answers, they think it's just going to fall in their fucking lap. No, you got to go digging, you got to go look.
This is RT correspondent Mohammed Goma. Also joining us is former Pentagon official Michael Maloof, who's going to be joining us as well. Mohammed, let me begin with you because I know you're following this on a regular basis.
As soon as this popped up.
I understand there's already news coming out of the region. What's going on right now as a result of this ceremony that we just saw just a block from here?
No. From Gaza, especially, there is a rocket was launched from Gaza to Israel.
Yeah, look, right afterwards.
Focusing.
And it's going to escalate, man. It's not finna stop. And that's why the chair's been making themselves visible even more too, because the angels are the one that put the spirit on these men, these leaders, that actually do certain stuff that they do. The Most High just use them to come down, whether to send a message, protect somebody, ultimately to fulfill His will, and it's part of His will, to stir up these leaders.
Some places in Israel, but they aren't, it's prevented. Also, there is a lot of protests there in Gaza, in Ramallah, in Beirut, in also inside Israel. There is a lot of protest against this plan.
But by the way, I was just told moments ago that there are now 6 to 7 rockets that have been fired, and that there are several people have been injured. According to some, 2 Israelis have been injured in the report. So let me come back at you with this question then. What we're seeing there, is this something that you would have expected normally under these kinds of conditions, or is it heightened in your opinion?
I think this is expected because some of the people there, especially the people, they refuse any plan or any agreement with Israel, avoiding the Palestinians.
Is it a question of fellow Arabs seeing their fellow Arabs doing a deal with the devil, so to speak, obviously, as they're going to see it? It upsets them to see other Arabs do a deal with Israel, which is their longtime enemy?
Man, see, and our people don't even know who their enemy is. But these Ishmaelites and Elam and them, they know about Esau. They know how Esau get down. I was going to pull this in the book of James, but I'm going to grab one more scripture before this, and then I'll come back to this. Let's see. And see, they talk all that peace, and nice sweet shit, but the whole time they really conniving, something behind the scenes. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21, it says, "The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart, his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords." And like I say, these other nations, they know how Esau get on. That's why they got military bases all around them. And they come in, take out a leader, set up a puppet leader, and force their democracy and their way of living on these other nations. The other nations, they getting fed up. That's why they've been stocking up with them arrows. You know. Let me see real quick. I'm gonna get one more video that I seen, which to me seemed most spiritual. I didn't look at it from like a carnal point, like, oh, it's just birds falling. I was like, let me see what kind of birds these are. I clicked on the little actual.
Bluebirds, sparrows, blackbirds, and flycatchers are just some of the types of migratory birds found dead throughout the state of New Mexico.
You know, when I looked at the actual thumbnail, they had an eagle on there. So let me
Hundreds
see.
of thousands of
They actually
them.
got some eagles on there.
Researchers at New Mexico University say corpses of these birds caught their attention beginning August 20th. That's when an alarming amount of dead birds were spotted at the U.S. Army White Sands Missile Range and the White Sands National Monument. Scientists say more dead birds continue to show up in all four corners of the state. Biologists from White Sands Missile Range teamed up with the university on Saturday to examine 300 dead birds. They reportedly wanted to learn more about their conditions before dying. Residents said they noticed irregular behavior from some of the birds. Some birds normally seen in trees or shrubs were on the ground chasing bugs. Many were lethargic and so unresponsive they were getting hit by cars. On the Missile Range golf course, biologists said swallows were even allowing people to approach them. While researchers are still looking into the exact cause of this massive die-off of migratory birds, some believe the fires on the West Coast pushed many of these birds away before they were ready to migrate. Martha Desmond, professor at the University of New Mexico's Department of Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Ecology, says birds who migrate before they were ready because the weather might have not had enough fat to survive. Desmond says changing migratory pathways or smoke inhalation could have also impacted the birds.
And to me, like I said, I ain't look at it from a carnal point of view. I look at it from a spiritual point of view. Because if you know this actual sign that's on the coin and on the US dollar is actually a bird, which is an eagle, one of the top birds. And all these birds falling. Hey, Esau falling too simultaneously. So this is in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 16. It says, "Now terribleness hath deceived thee." Because Esau, these Edomites, they've been running around the world being terrible and getting over on people. It says, "In the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill, though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord Yahweh." And that's exactly what's going to happen. Which this goes back into another scripture also in the book of Obadiah. But y'all know what I'm talking about. And if you listen and you don't, just go read the book of Obadiah and just read through it. It actually goes into how Esau said his nest among the stars and all that stuff. Now, this last scripture I want to pull what I was speaking about. It's in the book of James, chapter 4, verse 8. And for you to really understand this, like I said, the Most High has to be dealing with you, and you have to really seek Him out. You gotta ignore your woman sometimes. You gotta ignore your family sometimes, your friends. You gotta get away from them and focus on Him. Focus on, okay, let me figure out what pleases the Most High, what make Him happy. When He send the angel down to monitor what I'm doing, what can I do to be pleasing to Him? And that's the mind frame you have to have. And if you ain't an elect, if you ain't really meant to be like that anyway, you're not gonna do it anyway. But this explains a lot of reason why you see a lot of Akim really waking up and breaking down these scriptures like that. And it's in the book of James, chapter 4, verse 8. "Draw nigh to Yahweh, and He will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded." Because you don't want to be out here, well, dang, I want to read the Bible, but I want to read the Quran too. Well, I'm gonna read in the scriptures, but I'm gonna go look at some Hinduism too. That's being double-minded. Most I say, cleanse your hands. Some of that stuff you used to do, you gotta cut that shit off. Most of the men that you really see, they really go into these scriptures and all that stuff, had a past, lived a certain way. But we cleanse our hands. So I just want to bring that out. What was on this edifying? Call Allah Yahweh Shin Yoshai. Shalom to the left. Hey, no scripture speaking, man. Anybody in doubt, that's because they've been fucking blinded.